Okay, so we have this graph given here, and it is talking about um, the temperature in degrees Celsius and then the hours after midnight. This is all described in the previous video. And what we're going to do right now, because we did find the vertex in the previous video, we're going to use the information that's given in this graph to answer the question, what is the average rate of change for where the temperature is decreasing and where the temperature is increasing? And when I look at my curve, I'm going to say that the temperature here, the temperature is going down until it hits that vertex, and then the temperature is going up on the other end of the curve. So I know where it's decreasing and I know where it's increasing just by looking at this graph. Okay. But what I'm looking for most specifically is the average rate of change. And an average rate of change is really the slope between 2 points. So I'm going to write this down. So this average rate of change, average rate, is really a straight line. Okay, so that's going to be my y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. It's going to be the slope of that line. And if I look for the average rate of change on the decreasing side of things, I want a straight line from where it starts to decrease till where it ends in the decreasing space. So I'm going to say that I want this straight line here. Like I want to know what the slope of that line is. And so the slope of that line, so is going to give me my average rate of change. I'm going to say that I'm going to use y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. And in this particular case, I have the point 0, 9.6, and then the net point 14, negative 10. Okay, so now that I have those 2 points, I can say that I can write in that this is going to be negative 10 minus 9.6, and then 14 minus 0. So I'm going this direction. It's negative 10 minus 9.6, and then 14 minus 0. So I'm doing my y2 minus y1, x2 minus x1, and I can do the math on these. When I do this, negative 10, my negative 10 minus 9.6, well, that's going to be negative 19.6, and my 14 minus 0, well, that's going to be 14. And when I plug that into my calculator, I'm going to get that that's going to be a negative 1.4. So that's the average rate of change for the decreasing interval of my graph, where the temperature is going down. If I want to know where the temperature is going up, so I'm looking at my graph and it's going from a low temperature and going up to a higher temperature here. So it started at negative 10 degrees, it's going up to 0 degrees, and I want to know what the average rate is for this increasing interval. So again, I'm doing the straight line, so I'm going to just draw this line and I'm doing the slope of that line. And so I have m equals y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. And I have these 2 points of 14 and negative 10. And I have the other point of 24 and 0. And when I do this, I'm going to get 0 minus negative 10, so 0 minus negative 10, and then 24 minus 14. Okay, so those are my y2 minus y1 and x2 minus x1. And when I do this math right here, minus minus, well, that's going to be a plus. So this is really going to be 10 on top. And down here, 24 minus 14, well, that's going to be 10 on the bottom, which gives me a rate of 1.